Hello, this is Heisenberg,
Hi there, and this is G Forever.
and we're back from vacation.
Oh yeah. So how did the vacation go?
Well, yeah, I went to Europe, but sadly,
No Godzillas?
no Godzillas at all. How about you, G Forever? Did you see Godzilla on your vacations?
I did go back to the store, Heroes Club. That's where my collection began. So shout out to Robin for keeping such an amazing place still intact. And now there's just a lot of very cool model kits being built and painted by him. So definitely check it out if you get a chance when you hit the West Coast.
No, that's excellent.
Also saw another classic Godzilla dealer, Kimono My House. So that one I've never been to, but I've always heard about it in G-Fan magazine, and way back in the 90s it was one of the big dealers out there. So it was pretty cool to finally see the shop in person.
No, fun. So yeah, a number of things came out while we were on vacation.
Boy, a ton.
Yeah, so stay tuned to our channel. We'll
Yeah.
be working on catching up.
Yep.
But here's something brand new.
new.
2 days ago, NECA started selling this on eBay and Amazon. It's NECA's Godzilla, King of the Monsters Godzilla, based on the 2019 movie V2. V2.
All right, V2.
So what's that mean? Toho didn't want them to call this like the Atomic Godzilla or the Atomic Blast Godzilla or
Okay.
Atomic Breath Godzilla.
No
They didn't.
nuclear Godzilla.
Yeah, they
not
didn't want to
friendly.
have like any sort of nuclear connotation
Oh, interesting.
on this toy. Didn't explain why. So instead they were just calling it version 2.
All right.
And it looks like version 2 has been abbreviated to just V2.
Okay.
Yeah. So my guess is that maybe because of the Fukushima disaster
Okay.
in Japan, that maybe they just didn't want to associate Godzilla with nuclear power, at least on the toy.
Interesting.
Because I mean, they certainly talk about radiation
In the movie a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so here we have the new Godzilla version 2, V2. Here's the front of the box. You'll see it's the main poster. You have the title of the movie, and it just says Godzilla. It doesn't say V2 anywhere. Let's hope we can get King Ghidorah if enough people show interest in the Godzilla figures. So you'll see like a nice image of Godzilla. So here, he is much more bluer and much more darker than the first release. Alright, so here we have Godzilla 2019 version 2 out of the box. Very cool paint job, I want to say. I love the spines, how the paint was done. You have a lot of mix of like some white, some blue, some metallic, kind of give it that nice shine.
Yeah, very nice. Yeah, very nice. Yeah, kind of like blue and white spikes here.
Yep. I do like the darker skin tone because they use more of this darker theme in the whole movie. Even look at the toes, like the dark toes, nice and gloss. So I really like that. So let me spin him around so we can see more of him. But before I take the atomic breath out, a new mold of the atomic breath. You also have an end point to have that you can rest the atomic breath on. So while I spin it around, so it's 2 pieces. So you don't need the I guess the blast piece. So you can.
Yeah, it's kind of like a splash.
Yeah, kind of like a splash, but you can kind of rest it here. There's like a little spot for the fire breath to rest on. And this one, the design is you actually rest it on the tongue this time instead of jamming it into the mouth. So
Instead of the back of the throat.
yeah.
Previously they had it so he sort of jammed it into the back of the throat. Here it's more that it's sort of more that it surrounds his tongue.
Correct. Yep. So yeah, it stays on, doesn't fall out. So you can have it without resting it on that blast point. Pricing wise, it's roughly what, $28.
Yeah, I really like these spikes.
Yep.
Yeah, I really like the blue, like this nice shiny, like kind of like a bright blue on the spikes.
Yep.
And it goes all the way down the tail here.
Yep. Yeah, they made very blue, but I like the blue choice that they chose. Sometimes the color's off, but this is a good blue. But yeah, like just articulation wise is very good. I love the new design, like
Oh yeah,
very fluid.
Yeah, it's really nice how they've enhanced the tail compared to their earlier Godzilla figures.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, here's the standard Godzilla 2019 from NECA.
Yep.
So same mold, different paint.
Yep. So as you can see, very light colored, like a more of an olive green coloring.
Oh yeah,
whereas
so
this one's like a more dark base with a lot of paint on top.
oh yeah. So even without the blue, it's a darker like charcoal.
Yeah, darker
color.
base.
Yeah.
So I like the base on this one. I kind of wish they could redo the original one in darker color, but I also appreciate where we get a lighter Godzilla because it differentiates the figures on the shelf.
Yeah, it shows off the mold.
Yeah, you can see a lot more of the detail.
Yeah, the light color it really shows off the mold really well.
Yeah, and you can
So yeah, here you sort of the blue. I like the blue, but you're not seeing. I don't think you're noticing the detail as much.
Yeah. It's mostly for the paint, whereas this is mostly for the mold.
Yeah, so the standard is sort of like green. Yeah, kind of like a green toes, and this is more of a black toes.
Yep.
And again the paint too. Like standard is more of a light color, and this one's more of a charcoal.
Yep.
Oh yeah, and it is kind of like a green wash on the standard one.
Yeah.
Here, obviously, we get the blue wash.
Correct.
And instead of the kind of like the pink and white gums on the standard, we got like blue gums.
Yeah.
Blue tongue, like blue like eye shadow.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then same with the inner mouth. Everything's blue on the new one, and the old one is just the pinkish color, more flesh-like.
Yeah. So So it's a nice, I think they're very complementary here.
Yeah. So you get a lot of variation here. So if we look at the spikes, definitely you can tell a difference, the paint color. So on the standard edition, you can see much more detail of the deeper, like the black and the green. Whereas here it's really for the paint, because all different shades of blue and green to get the nice glow.
Yeah,
glow
you can
effect.
still, with the blue version, you can still see some detail, but I think it's not quite as noticeable as it is on the standard one.
It's a little hidden because of probably all the different paint that's over it. I think you can definitely see it. You can see the deeper grooves, whereas I think paint is kind of overlapping the gaps.
Okay. So yeah, this is definitely something where I definitely enjoy to have both of them in my collection. If for some sad reason I could only have one, I think I might still get the standard one if I could only have one.
Okay.
I think I'd get the standard one just so I could see the detail more.
Yeah. All right, so what do you think, Heisenberg?
Oh, very happy. From NECA, we've got two Godzilla 2019s, both painted very well.
Yeah.
And I like the sculpt.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like the sculpture on them.
Yeah, great pricing too. Like, you can't beat it for something this detailed and with articulation and an excellent paint job. If you're a Godzilla fan, this is another must buy. Like NECA has been nailing it this year. Every release they've been making is top notch.
And we got brand new effects here with the with V2 with the blue version.
Yep.
Yeah, two effects in one.
Yeah,
there.
you get the fire breath and this little blast point. You can rest it on.
Oh yeah. And they've announced they're also making the fire version, the red version.
Godzilla.
Oh yeah, the red version. So we've got that to look forward to.
Very cool. So we'll see if there are more effects. Maybe they can do a nuclear pulse or something with the Mothra wings.
Oh yeah. So please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We've got more reviews in the works.
Yep.
And you're going to want to see those, including some rare stuff that you haven't seen much of.
Yeah, and maybe some things that you can't even find in the U.S. So.
Yeah. All right, so this is Heisenberg.
And G Forever, hoping you enjoy Godzilla version 2 from NECA.